Hello and welcome to TFT NA Regional Finals, set 9.5, final day, game number 6.
Game, let's see what we have in store for us. Casanova and Admirable take us home.
All right, Admirable. Villar's Hollow or God Willow Grove, the Earth players wanting this extra +1. But Darth Nub gets away with it. He does not want to go there in this final game, so it will not be the Earths thriving here.
Earth players are shaking.
Gonna get an extra support item going across to everybody from Villar's.
Take that, non-multicaster players. So I just want to take a moment here, because we have so much going on and it's going to take moments for it to unfold, to really talk about Wajan Iverson for a second, because his performances have been out of his mind so far in this event. His average placement so far is better than 2.6. He sits at 2.588. This is regionals that we are talking about here. This isn't ladder. This is better than his average ladder placement in the North American regionals. This is insane. Today, he's gone 6th, 1st, 2nd place, 2nd place, 2nd place. What the heck?
Yeah, I mean, it's phenomenal play. I want to quickly call out as we pull up this legend screen, though, Admirable. We finally have a legend swap. Replay in the final game of regionals with the championship on the line. Swap to Earth and almost immediately was rewarded with Godwillows. Doesn't quite get that, but still deciding that Earth was the way to go to try and play for a top placement, because he needs to play for first. He needs to play for that top 2. That is the way that these players earn a spot at the championship. Getting first in this game is the best possible odds you are ever going to have.
Yeah, for him, making a top 4, it literally isn't good enough. He needs to have a first place finish. A 2nd place finish might be good enough, but at 21 points, you're not in a good spot right now. He is sitting tied for 5th place in points right now, so he actually needs a first. If you need a first, you're going to have to reach for the stars, and that means Earth. You're going to need big tomes that provide you easy ways to actually win the game.
All right, these tome pops are the biggest thing of all, and a Demacia available for Liquid Replay. And he's going to go for it. He's going to look for the high roll. He knows if he finds one more in this game that he can go for 9 Demacia. And it had a 100% win rate on day 2. He is opening himself up for the high roll.
Welcome to the hit reality TV show, Team Fight Tactics. What? It's like I can't tell what's going. Like, how does this happen? How? He's been literally playing Twisted Fate the entire tournament, except for when suddenly he needs a literal first place finish, and now the window has opened.
Look for Milk's emblem.
Real.
Shurima for Milk. You've seen 9 Shurima do well also, and 9 Shurima, a little easier to get to. It is a craftable emblem. The Milk going to be on Shurima for this final game of the day. The tournament.
Replay has typically been going for lost streak strategies in these last couple of games because he hasn't been able to put together an extremely powerful board. That is unusual to get wins with. It is very difficult. Like, the stars have to align in those kinds of situations. For a lot of the Demacia success, we've been seeing players have strong stage 2, sacking stage 3 for value, sacrificing some of stage 4, and then having their big boost take place. So for Replay, if he's able to go this Demacia strategy, he's going to need to figure out a way to find a win streak or to find a heaping pile of gold at some point in this game. If you bleed too much, you do not have the opportunity to go to level 9. So some different circumstances would have to line up.
Couple big things here, Admirable. Soju on Ionia has slammed that last Whisper, committed to the line. You look on the other side here, T-Lights. Same line. Soju found some success with this earlier, even while contested. He's played the line very well throughout the day. It's what's gotten him here to have this point lead. But T-Lides also on that 27 points is the biggest lead, contesting with Soju. The other big thing, Connor is me, picked up 2 healthy, will be looking for those multicasters, and we have seen that cap out so high. Wajan also going to be on Ionia. This is heavily contested across the board. Multiple players looking for it.
This is a lot of Ionia that's going on across the board. So there's a good chance here, I think, that somebody finds himself in a really tough spot. Wajan Iverson's got this all locked up. This is not even close for him. He's literally playing for dollars and for clout. I guess at this point, you have Just the most insane average placement seemingly of all time for this one. You know, coming into this tournament, his average placements and his win rates really were not reflective, I think, of how strong of a player Wasion Iverson was. This tournament certainly has over-reflected that by a large margin. But with this set in mind, with this tournament in mind, I think it's really brought his tournament performances up to pretty much like where he is at as a player, and kind of shown that through now for this set, really in its entirety, where suddenly his win rate in the lobby has been boosted up to 24.32%, which is not quite what he has on ladder, but I think that for a tournament caliber field, it really is a lot closer to representing what kind of player he is. He doesn't have the strongest top 4 rates, but they're still very strong, and his win rate is outrageous. Like, he's just doing something that other players aren't.
Spatula on the carousel. Wasion able to grab that, go alongside with his Ionia Spatula. We've seen that combination, Ionia Spat and Vanquisher Spat together. So we will just have to find a glove later on to make that, unless he wants to go for double Ionia, play for a 9 Ionia cap, and now on board with Toronto Tokyo. He can make it to 5th or outplay Soju. Toronto Tokyo will still qualify with that average placement from his outstanding performance on day 1 and 2, and he goes with Scrappy Inventions. This has been really good for win streaking. We've seen this line before. Actually, Dish Soap was the first one we saw on broadcast taking this, and we've seen it a couple more times since then, but it does really well at win streaking in stage 2 because look at all these completed items that you get at the start of the round.
Yeah, and this is really important for Toronto Tokyo because he's still not out of it. He's in the running with average placement for it. So while he cannot find himself in a top 3 placement of points, what he can find himself in is a situation where he gets past in average placement. And that can happen with a couple different players. He needs to not have a bomb out performance. So when you're on that, tempo honestly is pretty much everything. Like, you don't have to win, you just have to not bomb out. So what's a good way to not bomb out? Take very strong augments and punish players in stage 2 and stage 3. Once you get to stage 4, you're hopefully far enough ahead that you can find yourself a strong enough board that you're simply not finishing in the bottom 3 scenario.
Yeah, and I mean, with it, Toronto Tokyo held on to a full win streak. Milk on a full win streak. On the other side, Darth Nub and Wasion lost streaking, looking for this into Krugs. And if Milk can hold on to this win streak, it is massive. Milk has been so good at playing lost streak, but he has to flip the script here in game 6. Milk is one of the players very much not in control of his destiny. He needs to go first and also hope for some very fortunate placements across the board from all these other players.
Now here's the thing, though. Milk is a player who almost always is playing from a lost streak scenario. That is very much his style of play. If Milk is in a scenario where he is on a win streak, this is the scariest place to have Milk in your lobby. It's because he is in first place with these strong boards that he now has this natural advantage that other players simply don't have very often. He's playing 25, 30 points in health total back from where players are, and very much having strong performances about it. Now just imagine for a second that you're the one playing from a few points of health back, and not Milk. He's still at 100 HP. That's the scariest Milk, and that's the Milk you don't want in your lobby.
Darth lost his streak. Darth ends up winning. Wasion holds onto his streak through Krugs. Toronto Tokyo loses his streak as well. Replay actually ending up on a 4 streak, so lost 2-1, won out the rest. But really, Milk, the major winner, Milk and Wasion, the major winners of stage 2, being able to keep the full streaks going.
The Darth no spot here. It looks like he's going to kind of stick to his guns on this one and say, you know what? Strong placements are good, so I'm going to continue to go that direction. And frankly, I don't think this is a bad idea because you definitely can pick up wins with multicaster lines. You can have strong finishes of multicaster lines. This isn't still locked in as a multicaster line, and it's if no one else is going to go this way because they have to pick up wins, what that means is you're going to be one of the only players going this way with uncontested multicasters. And when do multicasters win? Multicasters win when they're able to 3-star their units pretty quickly. If they're not able to 3-star, typically they get to 2-star their board, they level up, and then they press for levels and try to get it the most powerful. When they can do both, though, it's probably the most powerful composition you can legitimately put together consistently.
It's likely 3-way contested here. Connor probably playing and he's on 2 healthy. We don't expect him to go anywhere else. Darth leaning towards this direction. Shiv slam. All the slams here really leading towards multicasters. And then Scrappy Inventions was initially multicaster tech before multicasters fully hit popularity. It's likely to stay that way You see Toronto Tokyo still with some slams that lean heavily towards multicasters, but it lets you get 3 items onto all of your multis a lot quicker because you can just put an extra component. It gives you so much extra damage. It's really good to go in that line. So very likely to have 3 multicaster players in this lobby.
Which honestly is kind of a bit less, I'd say, than like we typically have. Like Darknim's been fighting through 3 multicaster lobbies pretty much the entire tournament so far. We've had more than that in some of the lobbies. I think that if we're going to find ourselves in a spot where we're 2 or less, that's a miracle for them. If it's going to be 3 or less, that's when things start to change up a bit. So I'm kind of curious to see exactly which direction this goes. He's starting to roll down now, and that tells me multicasters.
Yeah, I mean, just passing all these very strong forecasts that he sees because he knows that if it doesn't say multicaster, he doesn't click it. Still trying to find the Demacia units as well, but he's pretty close on Galio. He's managed to find 6 copies, but missing on 2-starring any of the multicasters that he was looking for.
No Jarvan either.
No Jarvan. Connor, we see that roll down starting to happen as well. Does end up picking up the Azirs. We see Connor actually pivot towards this Azir added to the board. We've been talking about kind of this evolution of the multis, and we'll see if Connor actually keeps that because it feels like that's more of a late game pickup for you to have that Azir. He's not finding any of the upgrades, so maybe the Azir ends up hitting the board earlier than expected.
Yeah, this is a pretty unusual spot here, too. You know, typically if you're going to spend this much gold and roll down, you're going to find 2-star units, even if you're looking for pretty specific ones. So when that doesn't happen, that is a pretty unusual circumstance, and now it kind of raises an eyebrow of like, well, wait a second, am I supposed to continue to try to hit these, or I'm supposed to start moving up?
Replay has 2 Demacia emblems, Admirable. Sorry to interrupt you, but
oh my gosh,
he's on pace. He went to Earth to play for the first place. He picked Demacia on the first tome, knowing that the out would be to find 1 more and push to 9, and he finds Demacia Crest on 3-2. I didn't want to interrupt your point, but that is like
no,
I
want to interrupt my
every
point.
replay is going for.
I can't believe that this like line is in place. It's like, how does TFT do this? That's what I want to know. This is not supposed to happen. You are not supposed to need a first place finish, go for it, and then suddenly you're in a spot for a first place finish. That's not how this is supposed to work. It's supposed to rarely happen. It happens every tournament.
And the swap to Earth, right? The swap to Earth was so important. No, this is exactly the line that Replay wanted. This is the out for first that he is looking for. He knows, hey, what is the highest possible cap I can get on this patch? 9 Demacia is the one that I think most people would tell you.
No, it is. I mean, it's not that most people tell you. It statistically is that. I don't really know how else to put it. It just is. The next thing he could do that's a miracle is find a Tactician's Crown. If he finds a Tactician's Crown, Replay is going to go first place. Like that is what I'm going to say it as right now.
We need to see his 4-2 augment decision. There are multiple ways that you can get Attack Crown in this game.
Oh my gosh, he's winning rounds.
Prismatic, he can do it, but his HP is not in a spot where I feel confident about him getting to 9.
Return on
Attack
investment
Crown is the biggest thing for him.
I think return on investment honestly
decision
might be his best one when I'm thinking about it. Because that gives you like the huge gold boost. Because you're going to roll anyway, right? So you go up to 8, you start rolling, and then suddenly attack.
Yeah. Return on investment is exactly what he wants. It would be, I think, the best augment he could possibly get.
I can't believe it's happening this way. Look across the board here too at what players are actually doing. Like Wage Iverson having the Ionia Mordekaiser to kind of hold the fort for a bit. That's a pretty decent spot to be in because you're just simply trying to not bleed out to the last place spot when that's happening. Right now he's sitting at last HP though, so this is a pretty bad circumstance for him, but like maybe a little bit of breathing room with the Mordekaiser. Not that he needs anything, but he is still playing for dollars in effect to that. So it's it's not completely like a toss your hands up in the air and say, I don't really care that much. Still a lot of money in place. Why not play for money if you can? That's pretty much what he's playing for at this point. For everybody else though, it's still like not out of the running. It's just everything is really up in the air about what are you supposed to do and what are you supposed to make of these circumstances right now. So it's really hard to tell because if Replay is able to start winning rounds and start moving up in levels, that's the worst scenario for everyone in the lobby.
In our PIF, Soju rolled to 0, did not hit Isaiah, trying to play for the Vanquisher's angle. Replay taking big damage. This is what the rest of the lobby wants to see. He's going for that 9 Demacia. No one wants him to hit that.
Oh my gosh! That is a 2-star Mordekaiser.
2-star Mord on stage 3. What board was that? Did you catch?
That was Wage and Iverson.
Wajan. 2-star Mord. Right now, item carrying the Ionia. Has the Vanquisher emblem as well. This wants to be Anila, but for now, I will take a 2-star Mord. That's pretty strong for stage 3.
This is social distancing with 2-star Mordekaiser, who is imitating an Ionia and a Vanquisher. He's imitating Xayah right now. You know what? Halloween's coming up.
Mordekaiser's got a Zaya cosplay on. He found some feathers, glued them to his armor.
Now, I am going to say that the
All the
actual visual he's come up with, not the greatest. You know, I think that could use a little bit of work.
Yeah, I mean, he does just look like Mordekaiser, and, you know, maybe he stuck a couple feathers, and that's about it.
Put on a hat and call yourself a pirate. Yeah, it doesn't quite work that way. It is going to get taken down here. Pretty strong multicasters on the other side with the scrappy inventions. It's like everybody woke up with a mana or a damage item on that
Really
side.
be like wearing a green shirt and saying you're grass, you know?
Hey, don't steal my ideas. I'm a low-effort Halloween costume person.
All right, Milk.
Milk's going to sell.
There's the pivot starting to come through. Orshirima in. Finds... Wow, there's an assist on the first roll. That's big. And start putting this together. Looking at the pip as well. Like that's T-Lides. Still not able to put together a full board as well. But T-Lides actually has an Aatrox found. And even though it's not upgraded, has found his Vanquishers, right? He's got a Zaya on the board. He has a Neela on the bench.
Everyone's getting so many components. This is such an important stage for everybody right now. I'm looking at the 2 stars on the side to see what's coming up. I haven't seen anything colossal yet.
Look at the
it looks like it might have slowed down. Like everyone kind of like is either waiting, they spent all their gold, or they have other plans in mind.
Look at the HP Admirable. First place at the bottom, Weijin. T-Lides in second, near the bottom. Soju as well. See if they can recover, but, you know, Soju and T-Lides, they're level 7, no gold. Very low HP. The last time we saw each of their boards, they were not hitting. And so our 2-point leaders might be bombing out, which would open the door for everyone, and we have to see if they can hit.
We replayed. Look, he took a big hit in that one. That is not the circumstance he wants to be in. That's the other thing, too. It's not just get Demacia emblems. You have to get Demacia emblems and get to level 9. If everyone else is playing like 4 tempo because they're like, I just need a not bad finish, it's really hard to do that. Hang on.
Replay, Demacia Crown is available. But
he needs the
to
money
look for upgrades. He needs to look for a way to get to level 9. Hedge Fund could do it, but he's only at level 7. He rerolls it. Demacia Crown being kept as the option, but that none of these help him get to 9.
The Tactician's Crown. I think that's the right call, honestly. It's just, this is a really tough spot. A Belveth!
Yeah, Demacia Belveth can be very strong, but upgrading it really, Belveth 1 doesn't do enough. Belveth 2 we've seen pop off and carry, even at 7 Demacia. The big thing for replay is there were potential outs, but he goes for the more consistent thing. He's trying to place as high as possible. Could have gone for Earth's grab bag and tried to high roll a spatula on the carousel. Could have gone for hedge fund and tried to econ up. Instead, he's just going to go for power.
I think power's going to buy him the most time. Oh my gosh, it's a 2-star Jarvan!
Stuns the whole back line. All the carries get stunned up. Quinn trying to do enough damage, but she gets stunned again. Toronto Tokyo has been struggling all day, but he says, hey, I just need a 5th. I'm going to go as hard as possible in this final game. Try and lock a spot at the championship. Soju replay at the bottom of the table. Soju on a 10 loss.
Oh my gosh. What happened to the Mordekaiser? Was Belveth cosplaying as Mordekaiser?
Level 7 Belveth 2 for Weijin Iverson?
What? This is insane.
Big thing, T-Lights playing for placements. Infernal Contract on 4-2. He knows he needs a 5th or better to make it to the championship. He said, you know what? Just give me 80 gold and let me try and make a board.
Morton, take the wheel. How are you supposed to beat this from Weijin Iverson's side right now?
You don't beat this right now. Weijin should be running through this lobby with the Vanquisher Ionia. Belveth 2 on stage 4. Should be a full win streak, and you just don't want to run into him right now. T-Lides managing to not take too much damage from it.
This is ridiculous. I don't think it's showing up for replay right now, unless it's that weird Tactician's Crown carousel, which it is not. That doesn't show up till stage 5 anymore, does it?
I'm not even sure, but that would be the bailout that he needs. And he doesn't get it. Replay is not going to make it to 9. He found the Demacia emblems, but he did not find a way to push to 9 this game. Did not have the tempo, did not have the HP, 18 health. There is no way he finds 2 levels.
I mean, yeah, I'm trying to think of a way to get out of this. I mean, right now the plan is literally hit. Like he is miles behind where the finish line is for him right now. And Soju, honestly, in a very similar spot for this. You know, Soju came in as 24 points. He's in 3rd place. 22 for Darthnub right behind him. Soju, his finish line really wasn't that far ahead. It feels like he's far behind right now. You look over at Milk's board. Milk has lost so much HP over the course of these last 2 stages, but it's because everyone's power level has just spiked immensely. It's like the lobby went from like a playground to like a minefield. What happened?
What is with these 2-star 5 costs on level 7? Milk has a Cassante too. He still has a duplicator on his bench. He can find one more Bel'Veth and go Bel'Veth 2 with Shurima on this. Milk is also having a setup that can start to play for first.
I just don't know if Milk can get another Bel'Veth. Everybody has a Bel'Veth 2, it feels like, in the lobby.
Now, Weijin has one, and of course, Weijin runs into Milk. Milk can take massive damage. Soju needs to find a bunch of wins. Soju finds another win. Soju, we saw, found that Vanquisher, was able to create the Vanquisher emblem, put it onto the Karma. We've seen this comp do so well. Soju really looking for this top 3, top 4. Needs to outplace as many of these people as possible. He's at 25 HP. Connor at 69. Toronto Tokyo at 66, right? These are super high HP bars. It's going to be hard to outlive them. But if Soju can outlive Replay and Darthnub and Milk and just all these other players, he might do enough to hold on to his spot because he started at 24 points.
It's a 2-win streaks. That's some breathing room at least. But Connor, like you said, he's just got a lot of HP left still. He doesn't have any gold, and he's at level 7 though, so that is something to look out for that. T-Lides, though, this is an Ionia Ash 3 with pretty darn good items in this. This is not a matchup you want to be facing right now. I mean, this is a pretty early hit on T-Lides' spot, but that's the Infernal Contract. This is his max power. He says it's just a stat check on everybody else. Can you beat it? Right now, Toronto Tokyo cannot. But Toronto Tokyo isn't hunting down a massive first-place finish. He's hunting down something that's simply enough. But it feels like that's what a lot of players are doing in this lobby, is hunting down enough. And if that's the case, the tempo is extremely high. This is what it's like when you have to fight tooth and nail for 5th place finishes instead. The lobby dynamic changes so much that this is something you really do not see outside of tournament play.
Replay on 1 life. He lost there to Milk's Azir 1. It is the difference of having these 2 Shurima emblems, the upgraded 5 costs with Cassante, and then the Bel'Veth still on stage 4, a Bel'Veth 1 still quite powerful, especially with the 6 Shurima, that immediate ascension. Milk trying to hold on. It's going to be very tough. He needs to play for first in this game. Milk is the player. He has to get first and still have a crafted top 4 to actually make it happen. Can he get there with this Shurima board? There is the 0-2. This is a huge hit for Milk. And he might be able to try and find his way to 9 and play that 9 Shurima with this upgrade. Very, very close, especially one more Bel'Veth here at level 8. He gets to go Bel'Veth 2. Maybe 9 Shurima becomes on the table.
Midnight. Not really time to position here, so this is just, the random positioning that he has to come up with in case other players are doing the same to him.
Replays last life.
Sport's looking strong, but this is not the time you wanted to run into T-Lides. Honestly, I don't think you wanted to run into anybody right now. You just wanted the round to just go, thumbs up, you get a free round here. It's like you want to pass go. But he gets there, I think. Yes, big win for Replay and a huge loss on T-Lide's side. These are not the rounds that almost seemingly everybody wants to come up with right now.
T-Lides and Soju are top 2 as far as players outside of Weijin, because we don't need to talk about Weijin. He's already in. T-Lides and Soju, both pretty much 1 life here. They can live 2. It depends on how many units. But that opens the door for everyone else if they both go down. T-Lides at 27. A 7th or an 8th is the window that makes it so he might not squeeze in. And he is on life point. Infernal Contract was what he wanted to lean on to get there. He wanted to just make that top 5 with this Infernal Contract. And it's not doing enough. Where will he run into? It is Darthnub on the multicasters. This does not have the karma to help the backline access. This is an Ashe variation. This one is not done as well into the Maltese over the course of this tournament, but he has gotten through the front line. It is incredibly close. The Vel'Koz cast, the Shen still alive, but the Freljord Rise trying to do work. That is enough. Keylight lives. Does Soju? The question is, Soju still alive? Did he win his round? He did.
Lost.
He's alive. Milk lost with the Shurima board. He's down to 1 life. Look at the HP bars, Admirable. 6 for Milk, 8 for replay. Everyone is so close in our bottom half of the lobby.
What do you do here? He's got 3 viable options. I think that's the most viable one. I'm not
the
sure.
GP remover? Shurima GP. You can just make it bulky, put it in the front line, get more stuns. His tank items going up against Darthnub. We just saw Darthnub fight against T-Lides. Did fall before. Darthnub at 13. His multicasters hasn't fully come online. As we look at T-Lides going up against Wasion. That's not the board you wanted to see. T-Lides taking a lot of damage here. But can the Ashe kill off the rest of this board? Can it just be a 1-unit loss? Can that make the difference?
Gosh.
Soju's out! T-Lides
is out!
T-Lides as well! Our top 2 going into this to
No
make it
way!
have fallen. Darthnub was
Darthnub's
next
out!
in line, and the door is open for Milk, replay, and Connor is me!
These were the top 3 players successively. Oh my gosh, I cannot believe this is happening.
This is that scenario that can get Milk into the top 3 if he can go first. Wasion's already locked in. Toronto Tokyo is not going to break the top 3. He's in on the placements on AVP. Milk can do it if he can go first. And with that, with Soju being eliminated, Toronto Tokyo has won on AVP, and Toronto Tokyo will be going. And Wasion has won the regional finals.
This is insane. I cannot believe that this is the pan out that we're having right now. Milk needs to go round by round. Every single round for Milk is the most important round of TFT he's likely ever played.
He's up against Connor first. This is one of the multicasters. The last one remaining, if I recall correctly. Toronto Tokyo may also actually. There could be 2 left. Looks like this win is coming through. The Shurima on this gangplank is doing enough. It's so close. No! The Vel'Koz gets the cast. Milk is down. Connor might have a shot to go to the championship here as
Replay's out!
Milk in top 4. Connor in top 2. Has he done it? Has Connor made the full run all the way back in the last 2 games? He's against Wasion. I don't know about the points yet. Connor might need the first to do it, to overcome T-Lide's lead. And here we go. The first fight. The next few trying to go heads up. Connor playing for a spot at the championship. He needs the win. And he has to overcome a Belveth too. But has he outscaled? Can he overcome with these multis? He gets the first win.
Gosh. The board is just insane. It's so strong. A big part of this is 2 things that are coming into place here for Wasion Iverson's side too, which is number 1, he does not have the same kind of backline access. And then the second one, is that confirmed? Oh my gosh!
Done it. Production has just sent it. They've sent the ping. It seems he did not need the first after all against Wasion. Second was enough. And he might still get that first, but Connor is me against all odds. Rated himself last in the field, had no confidence coming into regionals. Has made it to the championship. Connor is him.
This has been such an insane tournament for Connor is me in this one. His first day performance, I went back and watched his VODs. They were pretty unreal. Connor has been locked in and lasered in on unusual lines for when they make sense. In day number 2, it picked up even more, and it looked like he was playing like an absolute genius. Today, after game 4, he had 15 points. And In just 2 games, he's put together now a 3rd place finish and at least a 2nd place finish in this one to find himself rocketing forward by 13 or 14 points in just 2 games, which, mind you, was about his total after the first 4 games of play today. That is a massive turnaround in the 3rd day here at the North American Regional Finals. Connor has had an absolute run at this tournament against the strongest field that you could put together.
You can barely believe it, right? We get to this very last game. It was so close. Everyone's HP bars neck and neck, and then everyone falling one after another. And when the dust settles, Connor is me, left standing, back-to-back top placements in these last 2 games to clutch it out and climb to the top of the tables, get into that top 3. Nobody going into regionals predicted Connor would be going to the championship, and he is. A beautiful breakout set for Connor. He had it all the way back for Elyord Cup, playing that Ezreal legend when no one else was, beating to the tune of his own drum, making that top 5, and comes back in a meta dominated by Earth on his comfort legend Ezreal, and